everything you need to know about Costa Mesa, California in one map or less. Don't forget to watch this whole video if you are thinking about moving to Costa Mesa, California.
So here we are in Orange County, California. We, again, start off every video this way because a lot of people are their first time on the channel. So basically Orange County is this suburb of LA and it all grows up now. It's a beautiful city, beautiful county, I should say. And it's pretty narrow. So just so you know, we're very close to the entire county is pretty close to the coast. So it's not like you're going way far inland, like for instance, in San Diego, where you can go way inland here. So as an idea, like, you know, Orange County itself is just this area right around here. LA is right there. San Diego is down this way.
Yeah.
And San Diego kind of goes like the way out there. Like it's just like 6 times the landmass, but with the same amount of people. And you would think that Orange County, with having 3 million people in a relatively small landmass, that this would be a very densely packed area, but really it actually isn't. There's very few high rises. Most things are about 2 stories in general. And yeah, so I mean, they've done a really nice job of making it feel like it's not super like busting out at the seams.
Yeah, it actually feels less densely populated in many ways than both San Diego and Los Angeles.
Especially LA, yeah, for sure.
Well, it is less densely populated than LA, but San Diego, because it has the same amount of people, San Diego County has about 3 million, same with Orange County. And San Diego in many ways feels more like densely packed, even though it's way less densely packed.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange, but I mean.
In San Diego, you have a lot of nothingness now.
You do.
Because like there's some, like as you go to East County, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then whereas Orange County, you obviously have swaths of not much development at all, like particularly like the Cleveland National Forest stuff, like all this green, which is not really usually all that green. But yeah, so having said that, you know, this is about Costa Mesa, right? So let's zoom in. What you'll notice about, like, you know, as we zoom in, you'll see that it'll start to emerge. And what's fascinating is that it's coastal central Orange County. So location-wise, it's pretty fantastic, right? You're like again, it's very easy access because
Costa Mesa is
great
because of all the freeways that are just right there. It is so convenient. That's one of the things I like most about Costa Mesa. Yeah,
so you have the 73 freeway, right, running this way. That's toll road for a good portion, although and then the Costa Mesa part, it actually is not a toll road.
Yeah.
You have the 405 freeway, which is, if you're not aware, 405 freeway is one of the major highways or freeways in all of Southern California. And then the 5 freeway is one of the major highways in the entire state of California. I mean, it goes all the way from the Mexican border all the way to the Canadian border. So this is a huge freeway. So you have all this stuff. And now that Costa Mesa is right there, but you take the 55 freeway and you hit the 5 freeway. So you are super centrally located. Yeah. And that's the nice thing about, like, you know, people love Newport, of course. And again, I grew up there. I love it too. So Newport here. So people love Newport. The only, I mean, if there's a qualm about it is the fact that it's, you know, again, like any beach city, it's not the most convenient access, although not too bad for a beach city. But Costa Mesa is just even that much more convenient. And with Costa Mesa, you get a lot of the benefits, right? Yeah. The weather is fantastic.
It is.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, like, you know, arguably sometimes people would consider it even better than Newport, which sounds a little bit weird given that it's off the coast. But we have this phenomenon called, like, you know, the marine layer, right? So we have the, like, June gloom, like, especially in June, right? So May, June, parts of July, you have this marine layer that hits, and it kind of just sits for the vast majority of the day. It does burn off typically in the afternoon, a lot of times late afternoon, but basically, so which will hit the coastal areas like a lot, but then Costa Mesa, a lot of that burns off a little bit earlier, so you just get to enjoy those sunny days. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dazad.
And I'm Courtney Dazad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the blue skies. I love the perfect weather. I can't wait to move out here now. The problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country, so I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us so we can have that conversation, really find out specifically what you're looking for, and we can be your boots on the ground. We work with multiple people as far as we have multiple buyers agents that can really be at your beck and call, be your boots on the ground to give you virtual tours even of not just the property, but the neighborhood. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Yeah, even in like the quote inland part of South Coast Metro, it's kind of interesting. It still feels very beachy in terms of the weather there. Like, even though it's right next to Irvine, which can get super, super hot. I mean, I'm speaking in SoCal terms, right?
Seriously.
Anyone around the world would be like, what are you talking about? Okay, but when we're splitting hairs, even this part of Costa Mesa, South Coast Metro, I'm like, wow, it's really like so pleasant 300 days out of the year. Like, it almost never gets too hot.
Yeah, and you get the sea breeze effect, right? So you get a legit sea breeze running through the area, which is really, really nice. And and the thing is that when people tend to ask me, if you're asking me what the best weather is, obviously, if you're hovering along the coast of Orange County, period, you have, like, again, it's obviously going to be the best, right? I mean, that's just what people pay the crazy, crazy, crazy money for, right? Is this pocket, because there's no better weather in the entire world. Do it, say what you want, but there's no better weather. Now, like, as you deviate just slightly from that, the idea is what I tell people is, like, if you're trying to get that beach feel kind of thing, you want to stay on the coastal side of the 405 and 5 freeways in Orange County. So this pocket here is really where it's really nice. Again, not to say it's bad in Lake Forest or anything like Mission Viejo. Can we get hate from people? I'm not ever saying that this doesn't have nice weather, but we are going to be finicky here. Like, we're just saying we're being picky. It's like when people talk about cars, like, as opposed, like a Ferrari as opposed to a Bugatti, right? You're like, okay, well, Ferraris are amazing. Again, the vast majority of Ferraris are amazing, but Bugattis obviously, like, again, for a brand new vehicle, Bugattis kind of have that cachet. And like, this is the Bugatti of, like, weather, right? This is crazy stuff. So, and Costa Mesa falls very nicely within that pocket.
For sure.
And then beyond just the weather part. So again, weather, we got that away. Amazing. Convenience, we got that out of the way too. Amazing convenience. And also, you're super close. Besides just being close to the freeways, you're close to a ton of major employment centers, right?
Yes,
so
that's true.
Yeah, so you have Irvine. So all of Irvine really is a great employment center, but you have, like, this Irvine Spectrum here. You have University of California, Irvine, which is a huge employer. You have the airport area right here, which is, again, Costa Mesa borders.
Yeah.
So you're right. So you're like, so that's the major airport in the Orange County area. And then, of course, Newport Beach has, like, like a lot of employment there. South Coast Metro is just part of Irvine. Or like
part of Costa Mesa.
Yeah, part of Costa Mesa and Santa Ana. Like, so the South Coast Metro area, big employment center. And then as you go a little bit farther north, and you're, like, obviously you're talking about, like,
and
Anaheim.
also downtown Santa Ana.
Yeah, that's true.
The seat of government is downtown Santa Ana.
Yeah, that's true. So, like, as you can see, there's a ton of employment right here. Like, so from a convenience aspect, Costa Mesa is fantastic.
Costa Mesa for convenience is like, it's hard to find a city that's more convenient than Costa Mesa. I mean, I would maybe Irvine is a little bit more convenient, but that's about it.
But you don't get the weather trade. Not to say get much of a trade-off. I don't want to, like, I'm not saying the weather.
Costa Mesa definitely is more charming, I would say, than Irvine. Like, if you don't like all the tract homes and all of that stuff, like, there's definitely pockets of Costa Mesa that will give you what you want. Like, I'd say that's the one thing that sometimes people, they don't like about Irvine. They're like, oh, everything's a different shade of beige. It all looks the same. I don't like it. Costa Mesa, we want to talk about, like, some of the different neighborhoods where you can find that real charming feel.
Before we do that, I do. But I want to also, just because we're talking about the convenience thing first, one last thing I want to talk about is, we talked about the employment, we talked about just geographic location, we talked about the weather. We should also talk about the shopping and entertainment. So what you have in Costa Mesa is shopping and dining are, for the county, and like, in pound for pound, for, like, the population, what it is, the size of the city, some of the best shopping and dining you will find anywhere. Like, honestly, it's really, really good. So, like, so as we zoom in a little bit, like, you're talking about, for instance, Costa Mesa, especially, like, because you have South Coast Plaza right here. South Coast Plaza, for those that don't know, is a huge, huge shopping mall. It's one of those destination malls, right? So it's highly regarded, really well known. Amazing there. And then you obviously have the South Coast Repertory, you have the Performing Arts Center, you have the Seagerstrom Center of the Arts. Like, you have, like, again, that whole artsy scene kind of thing going. But then also you got great shopping. And again, you're still close to the Spectrum, which is another pocket for shopping. You're also close to Newport Center. Yeah, so you're close to Fashion Island, another big shopping mall. So you're very close to all the shopping and dining options that you could ask for right here. And within Costa Mesa itself, it has multiple Michelin rated restaurants here. So high, again, you have really high-end cuisine here as well as, of course, all the other basic cuisines as well. I mean, you have everything across the board. But yeah, Costa Mesa from a shopping, dining perspective, jobs perspective, all these things, it just checks off all the boxes.
Yeah,
but yes, so now that we've kind of gotten that out of the way, we can now talk about, like the various neighborhoods, of particular. We're not going into every neighborhood, of course, but basically, like, for instance, like this area, like, so just next to South Coast Plaza, this kind of, they call the Wimbledons. There are actually several housing tracts. The Wimbledons is the most well-known of them. And so if you say that you live at the Wimbledons, even if you're not exactly, people will understand what you're talking about. But this housing tract right here is really cute. So it's right next to South Coast Plaza. Again, all the convenient access of shopping, dining, like highways.
Yeah, look at all those highways, those major highways just right there.
Yeah. So
easy to get around.
Yeah, and these homes are built in like the 1970s, more or less, maybe like early 1980s kind of thing. And over the years, of course, homes have been updated, expanded, remodeled, all that stuff where, again, you kind of have that variation that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then
it's a super cute neighborhood.
I like it a lot, for sure. And then, like, for instance, Mesa Verde is also a really cute spot, too. So you have, like, actual golf courses here, like the Mesa Verde Country Club's right here. So you have golf courses. You're actually right next to to Huntington Beach. So you're very close proximity. Again, really close to the 405 freeway right here. And these homes are built, I would say more... again, it depends on where within Mesa Verde, but you have like a lot of homes that were built originally in the 1960s. Again, over time, they could have been demoed, they could have been totally remodeled, all that stuff like was done here. Really cute neighborhood. I love, Mesa Verde is a really nice area for sure.
Yeah.
And then I would say, like, again, the final one, again, there's more. Like, if you want to know more, we certainly can, you can reach out to us. We can have that conversation about where in Costa Mesa, if that's something of interest to you. But another really, like, one of my favorite neighborhoods in all of Orange County, period, is East Side Costa Mesa. I really love me some East Side Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes more or less, let's see, exit Irvine Avenue.
Santa Ana Heights isn't. That's Newport.
This is a little misleading the way the map did it. Yeah. So I would say
go by Sean. He knows.
Yeah. So again, this is very rough proximity as far as here. Again, what you have here is that you're obviously look at how close you are to the beach. Super, super close to the beach. In fact, a lot of the kids that attend that live in Eastside Costa Mesa go to Newport Harbor High School, which is where I went to, and that's again right around this area right here.
Yeah.
So Eastside Costa Mesa feeds into Newport Harbor High School. You're that close to the beach. That weather in Eastside Costa Mesa, unbelievable.
It is.
And the houses here are super cute, and also it's super convenient access. This is where it really helps Eastside Costa Mesa because you're right next to the Back Bay. But like it's the 55 freeway is right here. The 73 freeway is right there. 405 is just a little bit farther north. I mean, you're right next to everything, and people love, love, love Eastside Costa Mesa.
Yeah, it's so cute, and you can smell the salt air. Like, it feels like technically, Costa Mesa is not a beach city, but it feels like a beach city, right? Because you can smell the ocean when you're there.
Yeah.
Because another great thing about Costa Mesa is just how close it is. I mean, we were talking about great shopping and dining, but it's also very close to unbelievable outdoor recreation. I mean, obviously the Back Bay is just right there. That's technically Newport Beach, but that is a very, very popular area for outdoor recreation.
Yeah, it literally borders it, right? So Irvine Avenue is kind of the de facto like dividing line. So it gets a little bit weird. Not every other side of like Irvine Avenue is technically Costa Mesa, although the vast majority of it is. But yeah, it's like you have Back Bay, which, okay, I've run around this Back Bay. So they have a fantastic about 11-mile run right around here, give or take. I've run around this thing
many times.
Thousands of times. Like, so it's a nice smooth run, not a lot of cars on the path. So if you're walking, hiking, that kind of stuff, really nice from that perspective. Yeah. Of course, we talked about the beach, which is right there. So again,
and then the harbor too. The harbor is
that's true. The harbor too. You're right. I mean, so you have the Back Bay up above, but then you have the harbor below, and the harbor is like where you get your more, you can do your paddle boarding, you can do your kayaking, you can sail, you can do all the as far as the aquatic activities, all of them are available here. And then the beaches, obviously Newport Beach has legitimately some of the best beaches in the world. I'll put Newport Beach up against any beach in the world. Like we've gone to different places. I've lived in Hawaii for a little bit. We've gone to Nice. We've gone to these different places.
Caribbean.
Yeah. Like, again, fantastic. You know, like these are all these areas are nice, but I'm going, I wouldn't necessarily trade, like, you know, like trade these areas.
I wouldn't trade it for the weather.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When you consider the weather aspect, like, so you have the nice sandy beaches. Yeah. Now, it doesn't have that turquoise color, let's say the Caribbean, but you do have waves, right? So you have surf, which, again, the Caribbean doesn't tend to have unless you're in a hurricane, which that's a whole other thing altogether. Yeah. But again, you get that beautiful weather, like that. You know, you're not dealing with super high humidity or anything like that. Again, you're just right next to all of it. And not to mention, obviously, you're like right next to Huntington Beach too. So depending on where you are, another trail system is the Santa Ana River, which if you've seen the Mississippi, this is just like it. Yeah, so we're just getting
it's a drainage ditch.
Yeah, it basically just rushes water out to kind of prevent flooding, basically. Yeah. But what's nice about it is they do have like trails that go this way and it takes you to the beach this way as well. And then also you have Fairview Park. So this is a pretty big park, right? You know, like this is where Estancia High School is and stuff. Yeah. So you have good running options. And like if you want trail stuff, Talbot Regional Park is another one. Again, you just have a ton of stuff. And then you obviously have your neighborhood parks all over the place too. I can't say enough great things about Costa Mesa. And it's certainly not cheap, right? So it's definitely above the median price point of Orange County. Yeah. But again, it's one of those crazy desirable areas that you're like, okay, I could see why people are rushing to be in this, you know, be in Costa Mesa. And again, not every part of Costa Mesa is the same as, it's not a homogenous area, right? Yeah. So you do have different variations. Again, that's why you want to reach out to us if you are interested in Costa Mesa, because there's definitely differences. I don't want to like, you know, like again, it's hard for, depending on what your specific needs are and what you're looking to get out of it. And obviously what price point you're looking at too. You know, like Eastside Costa Mesa kind of tends to be the most expensive part of you know, Costa Mesa. Yeah. And, you know, but you still want to be in Costa Mesa. There's definitely other options that are like, you know, decent amount cheaper than Eastside Costa Mesa. Yeah. That's where you reach out to us, we have that conversation, and we can kind of direct you to the right places to be.
Yeah, I mean, if Eastside Costa Mesa is very, very expensive, definitely way more expensive than the county average. But I mean, we could end with just talking about South Coast Metro, which you often argue is like the best value for what you're getting in all of Orange County.
That's very fair. Like, actually, it's kind of interesting. So if you want a little Costa Mesa hack, basically a Costa Mesa hack is like, okay, I want that Costa Mesa kind of living thing, but I don't want to spend the higher prices that Costa Mesa, you know, like
$2 million for a 1,600 square foot house. That's very, very, very doable.
Yeah, so the South Coast Metro area is kind of fascinating because basically what we're referring to is the southern portion of Santa Ana. And, you know, part of it's just because it doesn't have the name of Costa Mesa. Like, it, you know, so we're kind of more or less referring to...
Well, it's also, South Coast Metro includes Costa Mesa and Santa Ana. So it's like blended of both cities.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, I can do that too. So South Coast Metro, and there's not really a defined map. Like, there's kind of a variation of it. So some people say that this is South Coast Metro kind of thing. I would say, like, something like that. Yeah. Some people say Seagram's a divided line. Some people say McCarthy. I don't know. It depends. Like, there's not really, like, we haven't like designated, we haven't staked out the area, right? But basically, this area offers fantastic value, and it's a blend of like southern Santa Ana, like that northern part of Costa Mesa. And here you get some, you know, again, more like a lot of bang for your buck as far as home values are concerned. Yeah. And so
that's where the Wimbledons are.
That's where the Wimbledons are right here too, for sure. Although the Wimbledons aren't necessarily cheap. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like amazing once you even change the name to Santa Ana, just because again, Costa Mesa has a certain draw, and people are willing to pay that premium. But again, this southern part of Santa Ana is pretty fantastic too. So there are some options. Again, that's where we would, you know, have that conversation and really figure out what specifically is important for you. And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.